welcome in to the non-silent version of the Tuesday stream. Good to see you guys. Welcome everyone in wherever you may be. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Happy Merry Bracemas, whatever that means. I guess it's something to do with a Philadelphia Phillies fan. Yes, I guess it's a special day for the Philadelphia Phillies. It is historical day, so yes, every once in a while, I've got to do that Charlie Chaplin impression. You know, guys like Ezra Denny and myself and Gorgo, we can appreciate the quality films of the past. Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin, Arbuckle, I guess they were in the silent films. So many. Harry Lloyd. Was it Harry or Harold Lloyd? All I remember him is hanging from a clock tower in that silent film. Yes, can't ignore those silent films every once in a while. And black and white movies, there's nothing wrong with a black and white movie. So welcome in everyone to this Tuesday. It is episode number 92. Have you found the leaks in your team yet? You should be at the point in your OOTP, whether you're playing franchise, whether you're playing historical, whether you're playing perfect team. Have you found those leaks in your team yet? Are you starting to fix them? Is your Frank Tanana starting to sink in the deep ocean of the water that's pouring through your team and you haven't been able to find that missing ingredient yet? I know I'm going through my team and it's leaks all over the place. Well, maybe not so much for my tournaments, having a little bit more success for my tournaments. So welcome in Wildcat Bandit Rob. Good to see you back here. It's been a while since you've been on the stream. Big Philadelphia Phillies fan, Rob VD from Atlantic City, New Jersey. Ezra Denny's here. We got Alex back again. Saw Cubs fan Steve earlier. EVC and NYC with 5 teams. Yeah, you got those leaks all over the place, right? You got one thumb here. You got one thumb there. Little pinkies up here, you know, stopping all those leaks coming in, trying to fix them. As Gorgo always says, you can always fix things with WD-40 or duct tape. And in this case, you need a lot of duct tape if you have 5 teams. Midnight Dreary, you might be a little bit leaky. Well, I hope that's not due to age, because the older we get, the leakier we get. Well, maybe I'm not speaking for all of you guys, but wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Some of you guys out there know what I mean. You're only 23. Well, okay. When you get into your 50s, you'll understand the joke, the reference. So good to see you guys here. I am Laptop Hound. Thank you for the follow Mr. Wrestling 2 earlier in the stream before we were getting started. So much to go through today, so much to talk about. Man, OOTP is like, I don't know how you guys that run 3 or 4 or 5 teams and 4 theme teams and 2 regular, I don't know how you do it, because with OOTP, there's just so much to explore. Your mind must be going in all these different directions. That's how I feel. And I've got kind of 2 main teams, 1 theme team, and I'm kind of piecing together a second theme team currently right now. And believe me, it is a struggle finding the time. Maybe if I wasn't streaming, maybe I would find a lot more time to perfect my teams a little bit better. But yeah, time is, as Tetsuiji always says, time is precious. And thank you guys for being here. And I've got to find more time to fix those leaks in my perfect team. Mondays, again, we kind of look at the live file, the current game file that is as of that date. Did some live spec a little bit yesterday. I watched EVC stream. He did some live spec as well. I knew there would be a lot of people covering live spec, so I didn't want to cover it too much. But you guys know that the live cards have changed. And if you're in bronze tournaments, iron tournaments, live tournaments, whatever tournaments you may be that have some sort of restrictions, you might want to go check them. Because if your iron 59 went up to a 60, that player won't be on your team anymore in your tournaments. They will be removed. And instead of having a 26-man roster, you may find that you have a 21-man roster because of the live movement that has been done over the last couple of, as of yesterday. So yes, double check your bronze tourneys, your iron tourneys, your silver tourneys, because any live cards that changed, if they went down, no problem, they'll still be there. But if they went up to a different level, you may have to replace them on your team. Again, we will be doing our giveaway, a little bit different giveaway today. We'll be doing that at the end of the stream. So we'll be doing our Guess the Historical Game Result contest, and we'll be doing our kind of random stream elements giveaway too. So stay tuned for that. And again, some new emotes for subscribers, followers. The old UK dancing parrot, that is on there now, because I do have a few people from the UK. And because Cubs fan Steve hit his 6-month subscriber bonanza celebration milestone, when you hit 6 months subscribing to the channel, you get a personal emotes that follows a team or a player that you really enjoy. And I know Cubs fan Steve loves Ron Santos, so I thought that's an easy one to do. So thank you again, Cubs fan Steve. Been here with me for 6 months, since October now, and I just started up in September. So Cubs fan Steve has been here right from the very beginning, and I know some of you are very close to getting 4 or 5 or 6 months too. So you will get your own personal emote too. So enjoy that, Cubs fan Steve. I'm learning more about Ron Santos because of you. So great all-time Cub. And the other new emote is the Gorgo celebration, perfect pack pull, the pack luck. When you see streamers pull a perfect card, throw this into their stream, the Gorgo, oh baby. The big smile on Gorgo's face as he shows that he has a perfect card, or with Gorgo, even it's a gold card. He gives that oh baby kind of signal. So that is one of the new emotes too. And I'll be adding more along the way. Unfortunately, I have to remove some old emotes to make new for the new ones, or make room for the new ones. You have to reach certain milestones as a streamer for them to give you more space, more spots to put emotes in. So as new ones come in, sometimes old ones have to be replaced. So yes, thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the new emotes. And again, if you haven't checked out, if you weren't here yesterday, go check out, go support the Babe in the Matrix series, which will be on Twitch next Tuesday. We'll be starting that here, but I did start it on the YouTube channel over the weekend, the very first episode, where Babe Ruth has been transported from 1927, one of the best years in his career. He has come to 2023, and he is going to play for every major league team in 2023. And we're going to track him, see how he does, follow his career through all 23 teams. We're only going to play one season with each team, but we're going to do some contests, and you guys are going to enter for packs and predict how he does with certain teams. So the first episode I posted was the Arizona. I'm going to do these alphabetically. So he started in Arizona. So go check out how he did as a member of the 2023 Arizona Diamondbacks. So looking forward to getting that started on Twitch next Tuesday. Again, if you are following me on YouTube and you're watching this after the fact, because I know some people don't Twitch, they don't belong to Twitch, they're not part of Twitch, they just watch my videos when I post them on YouTube. So thank you for my YouTube followers. Sometimes I forget to say that, and I do want to point that out, that you guys are valuable to the community, to OOTP, and to my YouTube community too. So all the Wayne's World Hawk Report and the Beginner's Guide to OOTP, all the episodes that I do on Twitch, all of those are posted on the channel. So thank you guys for subscribing. If you have subscribed there, it doesn't cost anything on YouTube to subscribe. And thank you for tuning in to both Twitch and to YouTube. And the Babe in the Matrix, I'll be starting on Twitch next Tuesday. You will have the chance to predict how he'll do home run wise, RBI wise, hit wise for that team that he is currently playing for. So we're taking the 1927 imported Babe Ruth from OOTP, and we're bringing him into the 2023 environment. So cool to see which team he can lead to a World Series. Can he lead them to the playoffs? Can he break records? Can he match Aaron Judge, Ohtani? We'll check out Babe Ruth as he goes through the matrix of all teams in the Major League Baseball. All right, let me see what's going on in the chat here. Alex is really cheering for the 96 Royals. Yeah, they are in contention. That's not a UK flag. That's an England flag. Okay, thanks, Alex, for that. So people from England, I know we have some from Birmingham, some from Sheffield. So we have a England flag. And EVC misses Baz. Well, I'll see what I can do. Maybe I can bring Baz. Baz is the OOTP 23 meme where if you pull a Baz, people kind of groan and kind of give you kind of not well wishes, but condolences if you pull a Baz in OOTP 23. Fortunately, I only pulled one Baz. Wasn't too severe. I feel sorry for those of you that pulled multiple Bazes. Considered probably the worst non-live card perfect pull that you could have last year. Yeah, it was a fun card. What else do we got going on? Yeah, if you would like to share the sheet here where you can copy paste the card name in and change. EVC, I think as a mod, I think you have the ability to put that link in here. You can try it. Put the link in for your wonderful live update sheet. I know you've done one. I know New Kidneys or Your Kidneys has done one. I know I have the link to Your Kidneys. So it's good to have a multiple group of resources to kind of check on the live updates. So yeah, if you're unaware of live updates, those happened yesterday. Live cards went up, they went down, they stayed the same. I invested in 10 Matt Chapmans and I pulled a couple. So I had 12 Matt Chapmans and I knew he was going at least to diamond. And he went from an 88 up to, I think, like a 93 or 94. So instead of 12,000 perfect points, that is now 48,000 perfect points minimum just by doing that live spec. Live cards, perfect cards, only two went up. Buxton went up to perfect and Acuna Jr. And I had a couple Acuna Juniors that I had pulled in pack. So yeah, that was kind of good. I went from 8,000 perfect points to 40,000 perfect points. That's where you make your big PP. That's where the big PP comes in there. What else do we got anyway? Kidneys, Your Kidneys when he's 60. Yeah, maybe with a little more facial hair. What else do we got going? Gabagoo Luigi, are you here today? I saw you post a little earlier. Gabagoo Luigi, big New York Mets fan. Is Gabba in the house? Gabba lurks a lot. Sometimes he's probably working on his comedy routine now. This guy could, go into a Yuck Yucks comedy club and reel off joke after joke after joke, especially if they're OOTP related. So Gabagoo, if you're in the house, post something in the message there. So yes, tune in next week for the Babe in the Matrix series. And if you want to join in my Discord community, if you have room for more Discord channels, welcome all in. Post your screenshots of your fire polls there. I'll put them on stream. Post your accomplishments. Post funny game things that happen during your league play. And get involved in the laptop Discord. Twitter-wise, I don't think anything new on Twitter. Sometimes Tuesday there's a new LE card or a hint about the new set this week. I think it's still going to be the gold, at least the gold build a lineup cards. I hope there's more than that because that would be kind of if they just show us, 10 build a lineup cards gold and nothing else, it's kind of like, give us more. But there'll probably be more missions and things like that too. What else? Oh, we do have a few new affiliate streamers in the house today. So big shout out. I want to shout them out. Ezra Ney. Want to give a shout out to Ezra and also want to shout out another new one. Nas Base is in the house. Saw him earlier too. He has started streaming OOTP content, so go check them out. Give them a follow. I don't know if Nas has made his 50 mark yet, where he gets to create emotes for his streams. So yeah, click on Nas's link there. Give him a follow. Get him up to 50 so he can give us some emotes, because everyone loves emotes. He just pulled a Drew Maggi. I'm not familiar with that card. The Faceless Live cards, yeah. Ezra, when I pull the Faceless Live cards, it gets a thumbs down, especially when you have two Faceless in the same pack. Okay, yes, ES_V. Let's give a shout out there. That is the third new affiliate. We had a huge group of affiliates. That should work. There's the third one. Yeah, EVC Son, not yet. He's probably working on his Destiny career first, Gabagoo Luigi, and then he's probably going to work his way up to OOTP. Yeah, we were kind of razzing him a little bit at the start of his stream, but he did a wonderful job. And I hope the plumber fixed, speaking of leaks, I hope the plumber fixed your leaks, EVC, and also the sink leaks. Hope he fixed those too. Gabagoo Luigi, I owe you something for your Prime subscription yesterday. I think it was Prime. Let me just double check. Whatever, it was a subscription. Gabagoo Luigi. Yes, subscribe with Prime yesterday. Gabagoo, you know what's coming. Plug your ears. This one's for you. Hello out there. We're on the air. It's baseball night tonight. The tension grows. Ludwig throws and the ball goes out of sight. The catcher jumps and the players bump and the Mets fans, they go insane. Gabagoo Luigi roars and screams of ban Ludwig roars at the good old baseball game. Woo! That one's for you, Gabba. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I think you would appreciate the references in that version. So thank you, Gabagoo Luigi, for the follow yesterday. And yeah, your continued support with the community and OOTP and all the affiliates I see you pop on and on. Thank you. All right. Again, Thursday is the new content. That will be Dishnet coming on live at noon Eastern. And then he will be back doing the exact same thing. And it's funny how word for word, it's exactly the same as the noon broadcast. Like he's such a great actor. You know, the way he tilts his head, every single word that he says is the same as he does at the noon broadcast. And if you miss the noon one, you can get your OOT packs by watching the evening live rebroadcast stream. And of course, Kidneys and I will be on, whether it's the gold build a lineup cards or new cards or missions. We'll be on with the Hawk Report right after Dishnet on Thursday. So stay tuned. You'll see what our theme is coming up on Thursday. What else do we got going on here? Oh, yes. All right. I want to get right into the historical play very, very soon, because we do have a few games to get through. But if you did not get a chance to enter yesterday's contest, because I am going to give out 10 standard packs for the winner of our Wheel of Destiny finale that we're going to go through today. You have to predict who will win the Final Four tournament. Will it be the 85 Mets, 85 Padres, 92 Jays, or 96 Royals? Then a few tiebreakers, because of course some of you are going to pick the same winners. And if we still have a tie after the third tiebreaker, we're going to put those tied entries on the wheel and we are going to spin it, because synchronicity, right? This is a spinning wheel tournament. We'll put your names on if there's still a tie when we get to that point. So let me give you guys the link here. Again, one entry per person, per human being, please. I don't want to have to disqualify people because have 4 different email accounts and we discover that 2 are from the same person. So please, only you yourself enter once in the contest. We've had situations in the past where people have entered more than once, and I want everyone to have kind of that equal chance. So here is the Google form link. If you did not fill it out yesterday, fill that out today. I will turn off the responses in just a little bit, but we'll keep that open right now. Get into the Predict the Historical Tournament winner. Okay, we're going to get back to that in a sec. I want to bring up my game file here. See if we can do some OOTP, play some OOTP without it crashing on us. All right, here we go. So before we get into the tournament and play that out, I'm going to go in to take a look at some of the recent tournaments my Blue Jays have been in. And then we're going to play one just to give you guys some time to get that Google form filled out if you need to. And then I'll cut off the Google form and we'll play out those games. So if you're new to the game, you are allowed to play up to 3 traditional tournaments. These are tournaments where you have to use your own cards. So you have to have these cards in Perfect Team. If you're a Perfect Team Plus member, you can play 4 at any given time. So once you get eliminated from a tournament, you can enter another one. You don't have to wait till the tournament's over. Once you lose, spam the next one. And I like to play the bronze tournament, so hey, let's get involved. Wow, it's full, but I like to play the bronze or lower ones. The perfect drafts, you are allowed to enter any 2 at any one time. So 2 perfect drafts, you can get in on those, and they're free. And you don't have to own the cards. You will use cards from a pool that they give you in a draft. And this one's going to start in 18 minutes. So I've neglected one of these, so I better jump in and do this one here. So again, feel free to give your suggestions in the chat on who you think are the best ones to draft. And then I'll go take a look at a couple of recent ones and how I've done. I haven't checked those out yet. All right, let me just do a couple things here. Let's do that and that. And let's take that banner off. So this is a modern draft. So using modern era strategy, designated hitter is being used. And it looks like only 1 perfect card. All right, there's the full screen. Well. Sometimes I see people post in Discord the 6 ugly choices that they get. I'm thinking these are pretty good choices. Normally, I would probably take someone like Mike Napoli, who I think is the best all-around catcher in the game. Yes, there's better defensive catchers, but overall, I think Mike Napoli is the best. So I'm going to take Jackie. Easy choice. Tim, you are absolutely right. Easy choice. Now, if there was a Cody Bellinger up here, or maybe some of those recent future legends like a James Wood, mind you, he's diamond, so maybe we'll see him here. All right, when I do the perfect drafts for those new people out there, I always ignore the live cards, especially in the early rounds. Maybe in the later rounds, when you get the bronze and iron, you might pick a few live, but I don't even look at them. I'd rather take a mediocre historical than a live card. That's just me. What do we got? We got Johnny Roseboro. Now, I'm against the clock here. I've got less than 18 minutes. Maury Wills and Henry McHenry. Let's take a look at his pitcher BABIP. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, I am taking him. When I see pitcher BABIP over 80 and I see home runs over 80, I don't care about everything else. I don't care about stuff. I don't care about control. If I see over 80, it's good enough for me. And I'm selecting him. A good defensive shortstop is good too, but I don't mind getting a few starters early on in the draft. Next up, ignore. So we've got Todd Helton, decent first base, but there are a lot of first base in the game. There's others that can come along, especially in gold. So I'm not worried about Todd. Let's check out Sam and his BABIP. A little bit low for me. Not bad. Better than a lot of pitchers. And then we got another shortstop who a lot of perfect teams use, John Valentin. He is the guy I am going to take, one of the better shortstops in the game. So I'm going with John, because I do need a shortstop. I didn't take one last round. If I didn't have a pitcher already, I might take Sam, but I can't pass up, especially in Diamond, one of those premier shortstops. I hear a lot of people talking about John Valentin being one of the top 3 shortstop picks in the game. So yeah, I'm gonna take him. Now we've got I want to look for power and eye with my hitters. A couple catchers I always look out for is what is his name now? Chris Hoyles and Mitch Garver. Those are kind of the 2 gold catchers I always watch out for. So Garver is a guy I'm going to take. His defense isn't great, but I can always put him at DH if I want. High power, high eye. For me, that's good. I want to look at the pitchers. Cliff Johnson is another guy I often take. High power, high eye. He can catch first base, left field. So he's got some versatility. Let's take a look at these pitchers. 70s. Good. Not great. Bobby Matthews. Not as good. He's more in the low 70s, high 60s. Paul. What do we got? Again, not great pitcher BABIP. I'd rather have higher pitcher BABIP than higher home run. So for me, it's either going to be Cliff Johnson or the build or the legend card. What are you guys thinking? Alex says yes, Hoyles is the catcher that he picks. And yes, Garver is pure DH. So this is a modern era. So yeah, it does depend on the era. If it's in the 1920s, you don't want the power. Power is not as key. You want defense and probably more batter BABIP for the early eras. But for the modern era, eye and power seem to play. I'm going to go with Cliff Johnson and with Mitch Garver. I still want that really good defensive catcher, and sometimes you can get those later in bronze. There's a lot of really good bronze. Is it Mickey Redmond? Really, really good defensive catcher. So I don't mind playing like Cliff Johnson at catcher, and then late in the game a defensive substitution, bringing in a guy like Redmond. So still need a really good center fielder. It isn't a round robin, so I don't have to worry about, a ton of versatility. So again, want to look at my pitchers. Let's look at Johnny. Okay, I like this guy. Home run's a little low, but I like that pitcher BABIP. It's almost into the 90s. And let's take a look at Dana. Not as good. Don't get fooled by the movement bar. The movement bar, I would recommend you don't even look at the movement bar. Look at the home run and the pitcher BABIP. Last year, yeah, we looked at movement, but they've broken it up this year into those 2 different categories. So I'm going to go with Johnny, and I'm going to go, let's look at these relievers. Really good pitcher BABIP, but splitty. So yeah, I could put him in the bullpen as a middle reliever with a secondary specialist role. Not bad, Dave Smith. Vinny, how about you? No, too low. Stuff's really good, but everything else is kind of low. How about Cecilio? Yeah, look at that. High home run, pitcher BABIP over 80. So he is definitely a possibility. And Luke Gregerson, no. Really low pitcher BABIP. Going to give up a lot of hits. Not a guy you want to bring into the game in a tie game or the game's on the line, because he might not give up a lot of home runs, but he could give up a lot of hits. Again, if you have a really good defense, that could help. If you have good shortstop, good second base, he's going to, minimize those hits, but otherwise you want to avoid him. So I'm going to go with the reliever here. I prefer, again, it doesn't really depend on the era for that, but D King, welcome in. I prefer the higher pitcher BABIP for sure. If I had to choose between the two, I want the pitcher BABIP to be higher. But again, it depends on your ballpark a little bit. It depends on the era that you're playing in, especially if you're playing the dead ball era where there's not a lot of home runs. Really, I'd rather have, 90 pitcher BABIP and 30 home run. That's fine in the dead ball era because there's not a lot of home runs anyway. So you're getting the benefit of dead ball and you're getting a break in having a pitcher with a low home run. Yeah, absolutely. I like at least over 75, but over 70 in a pinch. Roy Thomas is a center fielder a lot of people that draft like. He's got a really unique makeup, high BABIP, good eye. Here's a case of not really power, not really that prototypical guy you want to draft, but some people really like him in their drafts. So I'm gonna take Roy Thomas. I'm gonna go with what some of the experts call for. Ted, not as great as the Ted from last year. If you remember, the Plat 4 Ted was just outstanding, especially against the, I think it was the right-handed hitters or pitchers. So Ted's a good player. But let's look at the pitchers because I've only got 2 so far. See here, D King, here's where, he's going to do okay, Tim Belcher, but he's right on that borderline for me for pitcher BABIP. But he'll do okay as a number 3 or number 4 guy. I wouldn't want him as my ace. Lewis, don't want at all. Going to give up hits, going to give up home runs. I mean, he might have 1 great game, 2 great games. Jose De Leon, pretty good, but really splitty. This is a pitcher, if you draft him, I would not start him. I would put him in the bullpen with a middle relief and a specialist secondary role. Because again, very, very splitty. Not a guy you want as a starter. Andy Messersmith. Not bad, again. Just over 70. So let's see. I need a third baseman. No. Miguel? No. Looking for power or eye or a good pitcher. That's my priority in gold. Power eye hitters or high BABIP pitchers. We're gonna go with Belcher. Not bad as a third guy. All right, next up. Again, I scroll over, I ignore the live players. I look power eye, Jose Canseco, power eye. And after that, not Josh Reddick, not Jim. So now I'm going to look at my relievers. Good. Look at this. Here is a guy I want in my bullpen. High pitcher BABIP, decent home run. Stuff's not that great. But based on the pitcher BABIP, he shouldn't give up a lot of hits. Power eye hitters, high pitcher BABIP pitchers. So looking at my hitters first, Buck O'Neill doesn't really have the power. And Chris as a third baseman. Not really good enough D there. So let's look at the pitchers. Little bit low. Want to avoid him, but again, as a number 4 or 5 guy, you could probably get by with him. How about Frank Papish? Little bit low. Almost there. Again, not bad as a number 4 guy. Art. A little bit more balanced. Above 70. And Scott. Splitty. Bullpen guy, middle relief specialist role is where I would put him. All right, I'm going to go Frank Papish and Buck O'Neill, just based on the cards I saw. Minerva, congratulations. Minerva with the high five. Minerva made the PTCS. Those, I guess, are the invites out now, Minerva? Did they officially send the invites out to those that qualified? Congratulations on making that. Look at all those congratulations. What a great community. Got like 10 people already congratulating Minerva for making it. You guys are so cool. All right, last silver round. Dwight Evans, Power I. And I need a third baseman, so I'm going to speed this up a little bit. Dwight Evans and Ken. If you're just joining in, you've got a couple more minutes to fill out that Google form that I just posted. Predict the winner of today's historical Final Four matchup. Fill that form out. Enter only once. Another guy I really like in bronze when he comes available is Yogi Berra. He's listed as a left fielder, but he can catch. We all know Yogi Berra can catch. So I like to take Yogi as that versatility outfielder, defensive 80 in the outfield, and as that emergency catcher if I need him. So I've got 4 starters, 2 relievers. I'm good with that. Tom Gordon. Okay. Jesse Barfield, you got power and eye. You got power but no eye, but you do have good defense. So what am I short on? I'm short on I've got pretty much all my starters now. So I'm going to bring in Greg Gagne as a late inning defensive replacement. Look at that. 105 range, 101. Probably the best low-rated card defensive shortstop. So I like him late in the game to come in. Even though John Valentin is good, if John Valentin gets tired, good to bring in a good defensive shortstop. All right, so I'm good with catchers. I've got three players that can catch. Garver, Berra, and Cliff Johnson. If I do get a stud defensive catcher, I'll draft him in the last round. So let's go with Don Locke, Power I, off the bench. And yeah, here's another really good utility guy. High power, high eye. I need a second third baseman. Morgan Ensberg and Don Locke. Two more rounds to go. Sid Fernandez. Look at that. A 60 rated card with an 88 pitcher BABIP. Give me more of those in the bronze and iron. And I do need another second baseman. Or let's check out this reliever. Look at that. Pretty good reliever for bronze. Pitcher BABIP about 70. Not going to give up a lot of home runs. So George Murray and Sid Fernandez. And in the iron round, typically you get 5 cards to choose from. This is where you want to double check if you need any secondary positions. I like to have 11 or 12 pitchers. Right now I've got 8. So I'm going to focus on 4 pitchers. And I don't care if they're live. You're lucky if you get 4 choices sometimes. So I'm just going to take the 4 that I see. 1, 2, 3. Now, which of these 40 rated guys is better? Wow, talk about splitty. Very splitty. Romero. And Cincinnati Red, Alex Young. Yeah. These are my long relief, avoid high leverage, mop-up guys. We'll go with the splitty guy. And then I need one more and hopefully a second baseman. There we go. Utility guy. Utility. I like this guy too. I'm going to draft this guy. FP Santangelo. Look at that defense. Second, third, everywhere in the outfield. Yes, let's take him. So I got 4 pitchers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a utility. One of the fighting hydrants? I did not know that. And you guys are, I feel like I'm walking into a classroom where I've got all these baseball experts that know the history of the game really well. And you guys teach me. I love when you guys are teaching me about baseball history, about nicknames, about accomplishments, about funny stories from these players. Now I do something weird, but a lot of people do this too, where I don't have a closer set up and all this stuff. I put these guys on middle relief, use more often. So my better bullpen guys, I put middle relief, use more often. And I take off these secondary roles. Because sometimes if you put them as a closer, they may not get into games in crucial situations. You may want them in the game in the 6th or 7th inning. They're your better pitchers. And by the time it gets to the 9th inning, when they come in, you might have given up 3 runs and you don't need them anymore. So I'd rather have my key, really good pitchers set up as middle relief, use more often. Bring them into the game, even if you want to put, your best one on high leverage. Sometimes I do that. And then these guys here, my bad pitchers who want to eat some innings, I usually put long relief and mop up. So they're going to come in probably in a blowout situation because there's no injuries in the game. So I don't have to worry about them coming in the 3rd inning because my starter is injured. So if the game brings them in, they're probably going to bring them in where I'm getting blown out and they're just going to eat some innings. Strategy. What I do is I look at my highest stamina guy, which is only 86, not very high. And then I go up to here and I put in something just a little bit higher. So I'm going to go 95. Don't like to steal bases in modern era. I don't like to walk people. I like my starters going as far as they can with the limit that I've set, 95. I like my relievers to go no more than 30. Then about 97, I use the Your Kidneys approach of 97, 71. Otherwise, I don't do too much with the global settings. With the hitters, again, if I have an outlier, a guy with outstanding speed, like this guy here, Jackie Robinson, well, I'm going to go in and manually change his strategy to run a little bit more because he's Jackie Robinson. A Ricky Henderson with good speed, I'd do the same. But everyone else, unless they're a cool Papa Bell or an outstanding runner, I don't want to change the base running sliders higher. Only for the real good ones. All right, we're going to submit that. And let me just do a double check, make sure they didn't leave anyone out. I like how the green players are the ones that are in the lineup, so you can quickly do an eye test and go, okay, yep, they've got all the good contact guys. Most of the good power guys, except Morgan Ensberg. I want Morgan or Ken. They're relatively close. We're sticking with Ken. Against the righties, all the guys are in that should be. And power-wise, Yogi Berra has some good power against the righties. So I'm going to put him in instead of Dwight Evans. Because he can give me a little bit more power. Why not? Give me a home run here or there. And then I've got to put Dwight Evans as his backup. So let's just take a quick peek. Let's compare those two guys. Evans and Yogi Berra. Compare player. Against the righties, Yogi, Evans, Yogi, Evans, Yogi. So pretty close. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Dwight Evans coming in every third game. And everything else I just leave on if starter tired. I like that it defaults to this now. Last year it didn't. Most of the time though, it does seem to default to if starter tired. There we go. We got that submitted just in time. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Thank you guys for watching. We will have our contest coming up one more time. I'll put it in the chat. If you haven't entered, takes you like 2 minutes to fill out this Google form, and you can win some packs, 10 standard packs going to the winner of the Predict the Historical Champion. So we'll leave that up for about another 3 minutes. We do have an ad break coming up here, guys. Good timing. We will be back in about 3 minutes time. Go get a coffee, go to the washroom, go hug your dog. See you in 3 minutes. Exactly, D King. Yeah, you got to be there right when it turns. If you wait 30 seconds, you're going to get that full notification again. I think I can still enter one. There we are. Sign up. Got in. And I'm just waiting. I'm waiting until we get more quick perfect drafts that have 16 teams, because then we can do them on stream. We can get 16 of you entered and we can give away more packs. I like to give away packs, but I need some content to give those packs away. So I'm hoping to put the word in for them to give us some 16 team quick draft perfect drafts. And we can all get in those at the start of a stream, hopefully get them done by the end. We did those in Perfect Team 23, and they were fun. They were fun to have these little rivalries. Yeah, Midnight Jury. That's my choice of ad content, is put them all, get them all lumped in together. Allows people to take kind of a big break if they need to. I don't like when I watch streams and every 15 minutes there's like 30 seconds or a minute. And I do not like when I first open a stream and I get the pre-rolls. The way I do it, you get the longer ad breaks later on, but you don't get the pre-rolls. Or you shouldn't anyway. As soon as you come into my stream, you should see the stream. So yeah, it's kind of the lesser of the two advertising evils. Yeah, I think more and more streamers like the longer breaks every hour rather than, because I always lose track, Nas. Every time that I'm streaming, you know, when I had the 30-minute breakage, I would lose track and I would talk over the ads and miss them. So it makes it a little easier to keep track of. And yes, help Nas get to the decision of ads by subscribing or following NASBase, getting close to 50. Just started streaming a few days ago, part of the OOT community, not an affiliate yet, but I'm sure he is working his way up to that. We got a bunch of new affiliates: Ezra Denny, ESC_V. We've got Who's the third one that I'm missing? There's one more. There's one more. So many. Oops, slight typo. Only one E. Well, let's do that again. That was not a shout out. That was a whisper then. There we go. Work. All right, welcome back in, everyone, from the break. Again, if you don't want ads, you can always subscribe if you have the ability to do so. And if you're an Amazon member, Amazon basically owns Twitch. And with Amazon, you get a Prime. If you're an Amazon Prime member, you get one free subscription. Any Twitch channel that you want, you can give your Prime subscription to someone that's streaming. So whether it's me or any other OOTP affiliate, that's how you can avoid the ads. They are ad-free once you subscribe. And I thank you to all of those of you that do. Helps me buy the coffee and feed the dogs. And Ezra Denny, hug your cat. Ezra, just so you know, 10 cats. 10 cats. 10 cats. Not all inside, but 10 cats. So I do love my cats, do love my dogs and animals. And yeah, every view, every follow, every subscription here or on YouTube helps get them their little treats. And my little treat, which of course today, Nespresso, is a roasted hazelnut sweet vanilla blend with some burnt butterscotch caramel syrup, half and half cream, and a little bit of Southern Pecan coffee creamer. That's what's in the cup today. All right, welcome back, guys. We are going to get into our tournament. Because the ad break kicked in, let me post that one more time. Fill out the Google form to get in the tournament for a chance at winning 10 packs. Thanks for everyone for tuning in today and following me on the stream. I do want to take a look at, because we did a perfect draft, let me go back and look at some of my recent ones. Because I like to have, as the kids say, as the Zoomers say, show me the receipts, Lap. Show me the receipts. Well, let's see. Let's look at a couple recent tournaments and just see how I've done. I'm really enjoying the older tournaments, like 1922, 1958. So let's take a look at this 1952 one. And in this tournament, you only draft three. You only need 3 starters. D. Dempsey mentioned that yesterday, and great advice. For a tournament that is like 1950 or before, 8 pitchers is all you need. 3 starters, 5 in the bullpen. So that's what I did. You guys know that I like my pitcher BABIP. So look at this. I've got almost every pitcher with a pitcher BABIP over 70, kind of that mark that EVC talks about. So all over 70 there, except for the one. And let's see how we did. Jim Unknown Blue Jays. Look at that. This was a round robin. And we barely got into the qualifying. Look at this one instead. So the way the round robin works, if you ever enter a tournament that says 2RR, that means that you are grouped with a group of 4 teams. You play each team once, I believe. No, twice. I think you play each team twice. So you play 6 games, and then the top 2 records in that group of 4, they move on to round 2, where then they play best of 7 or best of 5, whatever it might be. So the Jim Unknown Blue Jays, where are they here? Over here, in their initial group of 4, they were second. So they just barely qualified. So then they moved on to the next round, played their best of 7, they won, played the best of 7, won, and made it all the way to the finals and beat a really good manager, J_D_A. This guy is an elite manager in the game, and his LOL Cats, speaking of cats, his Cats beat my Jim Unknown Blue Jays. But hey, I will take it. And here is a tournament again where anything kind of before 1930, remember how I said power and I? Not in these tournaments. I ignored power and I. Well, especially power, because it's dead ball. There's not a lot of home runs hit. So instead, I would focus on the BABIP of the hitters. So more so, the pitcher or the hitter BABIP, above 70. You want guys that get those singles for you, get those hits, might have a little bit of gap power. So that's kind of my basic strategy. Anything before 1930, 1940, I focus on contact BABIP, more so BABIP. And anything after, I'm starting getting into the power I. And then defense, always important, almost in any era. You want good defensive players. So there we go. There is a tournament that I finished second in. Let's just check one more. And these are choice packs usually that you win, or some of these tournaments are for diamond packs, 3 diamond packs. A lot of the good players like to win the diamond packs because a lot of the choice cards aren't really that great. Let's check one more. We checked the 1922. Let's check the 1958. Remember, you can enter 2 of these a day for free, 3 of them if you're a Plus member, which costs you about $6.99 a month. So this is the 1958. 5 pitchers, kind of your rate, almost like a modern era. The 50s are very similar to the modern era. You still want that BABIP. Look at that. Look at my BABIP pitchers. Most of them in the green. That's what you want for any tournament kind of from 1950 onward, in my opinion. Doesn't mean it's the right one, but it works for me. For my hitters, power and I, kind of what I look for, with defense still being extremely important. So this was the team that I drafted. Power, I, defense, pitcher BABIP. And where did we finish? Look at that. Looky. The Jim Unknown Blue Jays were victorious, beating Dishnet's Fishnets, which is not run by Dishnet. Kind of like a parody team. Dishnet's Fishnets, run by Lowly Worm, who I've seen in the chat sometimes. So yeah, cool. And now I just had a good run in the last few tournaments, apparently. But yeah, that works for me. So when I'm preaching power, I, defense, or I'm preaching pitcher BABIP, it'll work from you. It'll work for you from time to time. Let's look at my batting stats here. 308 for Joe Carter, 376 for Chase Utley, 313 Salazar, 413 for Larry Hissel. Power I is pretty good, and this card hit 413. That's pretty good. 339, I had the Cody Bellinger, which really helped. Power I. And in terms of the leaderboard, we were highest in runs scored, second in home runs. Larry Hissel's up there, Bellinger's up there, Utley's up there, Kenley Jensen. Always take this card when you get the chance. Always. Look at that pitcher BABIP. And the home run. Yes, it is splitty. Absolutely, it's splitty. But this is a guy you want in your bullpen. For me, he went 2-0, 4 saves, 0.77 ERA. Always take the silver. Kidneys says that's one of his favorite pitching cards at the lower levels. And here's my lineup again. Notice how I said I put most of my guys middle relief, a couple long relievers, put pitch counts on, and my strategy 97, 71. Because it's the 50s, you can push your pitchers a little more. They've got a little more stamina. Their stamina doesn't drop as much as it would in 2020. So you can boost up. The further you go back in time, the higher you can put your pitch counts. If this was 2020, I would not have these high pitch counts. All right, let me check out the chat here. Bluebird Silver, yeah, the 1950s is always that, kind of cutoff. Can you use 4? Can you use 5? Absolutely right. I think it depends on your draft. If you draft really, look at this one here. My number 5 guy started 6 games, and I always had highest rested. So in my case, I'm glad I had 5 guys because he got into 6 games. And I think part of that too, I could be wrong, but I think part of that might be your pitch counts. So if I had lower pitch counts, I could probably go with 4 guys because they would be rested by the time they came around again. But because I'm going higher pitch counts, they're not going to be rested. So I need that 5th guy. So yeah, absolutely. You could probably go with 4 starters and low pitch counts or 5 starters and high pitch counts. Midnight, you're playing against the same manager in Iron and Bronze. Well, good luck. All right, I think it is time to close that entry. Put it up here for like a minute. Here's the Google form. So one last chance to get involved in that tournament. Marcus, in terms of strategy, what do you mean by, you mean one of the ones that are listed there, like sabermetric or small ball, those ones? I don't use those ones. I adjust the global settings. Yeah, I adjust the global settings. And when we get back, actually, we'll do that. We'll do that now since we're waiting for a few more entries here. Let me bring that back up. Just waiting for the game to load up. Hope you guys are having a great Tuesday. We are into May, so that's always good. And let me make sure the game's working here. So yeah, great question, and I always like to, kind of help the new people out and give them some tips and tricks that may work, may not work sometimes, but if you consistently use these sliders, use these settings, you should get more positive than negative. All right, so when you are building whatever team you're building, tournament team, perfect draft team, again, what you want to do is make sure you know the era that it's played in. Is it played in 1922? Is it played in 1960? 1988? That is extremely key to know the era it's played in. Once you know that, then you're going to go into your strategy. And I don't use the strategy presets. They work for some people. I like to make my own strategy. And again, base running, as your kidneys always professes, someone I trust with his analysis of the game, I set to very, very low or 1 tick. It's up to you. Everything else on the global settings for all times, all scores, I kind of keep relatively the same. I boost up your starter pitcher to maximum because I want him to pitch the max pitch count. Everything else I kind of keep close to the middle. Again, you can put them 1 lower, 1 higher. It's up to you. But I like to keep them close to the middle. Walking, I don't like to walk hitters. And then over here for the strategy, look at your pitchers, look at the stamina, What's your highest stamina? 95. So go back to your strategy, and I kind of add like 8 to 10. So my highest was 95. I'm going to put my pitch limit at 104 in the modern era strategy. You don't want your relievers to pitch that long. You don't want them to get tired and give up a lot of runs. So I always set my reliever strategy to 30. I always put 97 for benching players. I don't want them too tired, because if they're tired, they're not going to produce. And then same with the relievers. I want them rested to go a game later or 2 games later, so I put it at 71. Huge credit to your kidneys for developing early on this kind of strategy for modern era environment. So that's what I do. I mean, yeah, feel free to experiment and to put different strategies for different points in the game. In terms of player strategy, it really depends on, like I said, the outliers. Those with really good speed and stealing, like Maury Wills, I will boost up his running. I trust him to steal more bases. But if they're a little bit lower, like this guy here, Dink, you know, he's an okay stealer. I might boost it up a little bit, but I'm not going to crank it up too much. Good runner, but I don't want it too much more than the halfway point. And the ones in the green, like Ernie Witt, I just keep it here. And then the global overall strategy will counter that, and he will run less because I've got this cranked down. At least he'll try and steal less. So yeah, that I hope helps in figuring out some strategies, but experiment. See what works for you and see what kind of success you have. Play around. That's the fun of this game. Trying to develop your own strategy. There is no perfect one. Me saying this is perfect and it's going to win you 10 tournaments in a row, not going to happen. All right, let me get back to the contest screen. You have 30 seconds. If you have not entered this, 30 seconds to enter the contest. We've got 59 responses so far. 30 seconds, and then we're going to cut this off. We will be doing kind of a random giveaway too at the end of the stream in about an hour, so stay tuned for that. Even if you don't enter the contest, you can still win yourself 10 standard packs. Stay tuned. And yeah, it's not tickets. We're not doing the ticket or exclamation enter. That's later. Devil in the Night will do that in about an hour's time. This is the Google form that you see on screen there. We've got 10 seconds before it's closed off. Thank you, SSJ Ruffio. SSJ Ruffio. And Captain Canoe 22, an outdoorsman. You like it up here in Canada, eh? Because we go canoeing a lot, eh? Down the St. Lawrence River with our fur hats and our paddles. And we canoe to our local Tim Hortons, where we go through the canoe drive-through and we get our double and honey cruller donut. Eh? All right, we're going to close this off. Responses. Not accepting. 61 entries. So let's take a look at what you guys think. We've got 50, over half of you think the 1992 Blue Jays are going to win this 4-team tournament. Mets have 28%. Padres about 11.5%, and not a lot of love for the 96 Royals. 96 Royals aren't getting much love. Kevin Appier, Kirby Puckett, I think they're the underdog. Tiebreaker, we've got a lot of you thinking the Mets are going to lose, probably to the Blue Jays. So 60% of you have the Blue Jays and Mets. And then for the second tiebreaker, the total runs scored in the final game. So we add up the two teams' total runs. Some of you think it's going to be a low-scoring final, like 2-1 or 3-1 or 4-0. Some of you think it's going to be high-scoring. And then the last tiebreaker, if needed, how many total hits? Wow. 3 of you think it's going to be 10 or less total hits. A bunch of you think it's somewhere between about 13 and 16. So there you go. Hopefully you can remember what you picked. And if you can't, let's see if we can let's see if we can find. D King says, I can't remember who I picked. Oh, I can show you quick here. See, let's go scroll through. Unless you're, we got 62 here. Yeah. I think unless you're near the very beginning. Captain, Nas that entered early. Yeah. I guess we'll find out at the end. Gabagoo Luigi. D King, here you go. You picked the Jays to win it all. You picked the Mets to finish second. You think there's going to be 12 total runs and 17 total hits. Gotta love Google Forms. All right, that is closed off. We are going to leave that screen for now. Yeah, still a lot of time before our ad break. I'm just going to put it on this screen. And now we got to find out who is playing game 1. And to find out who plays game 1, we spin the Wheel of Destiny. So the 4 teams are on here in game 1, the semifinals of our World Championship historical matchup. We started with 32. You had to win to stay in. And these 4 teams won every game they played. They're still in. They want to go to the final, they have to win. Team number 1 is the 1-year removed world champion. The Mets won, I believe, in 86. We are going to see the 1985 Mets play against we get the Juggernauts right off the bat. Oh no. These were the 2 favorite teams that you guys had chosen, the Blue Jays and the Mets. Oh. All right, now we have to find out, will the Blue Jays have home field advantage? So we got to gently spin the cat. Will the Blue Jays have home field advantage? Round and round it goes, and the Blue Jays will... Yes. My Blue Jays get to play in the Sky Dome against the 1985 Mets. Okay, let me just bring this back to my main screen. There we go. Go. If you're new to the game and you're new to OOTP historical replay, what you can do very easily is go to the very bottom choice on your main menu, historical exhibition. When you click that, it'll bring this screen up here where you can set the teams, the years, the criteria. So we have the 1985 New York Mets, who went 98-64. They are going to face off against the 1992 world champion Toronto Blue Jays. So we have one of the earlier defensive era teams facing off the very last defensive era team. We are only playing one game. Toronto gets home field. We're using the modern era settings, and we are turning off injuries. We don't want Joe Carter limping up to the plate in the 9th inning. Then you click Create Exhibition. And for the 2 semifinal games, we are going runners in scoring position until the 9th inning and later. So if it goes extra innings, we will play it out batter by batter. We will play it out in the 9th inning. But up until that point, we go runners in scoring position. If the game crashes, because there are packs on the line here, if the game crashes, we will restart the game. There's nothing else we can do. If the game happens to crash, we restart. So if the Blue Jays are winning 7-0 in the top of the 9th and the game crashes, too bad for the Blue Jays. You got to do it again. Only fair way to do it, because we don't know. The Mets could score 8 in the bottom of the 9th to win it, or top of the 9th. So here are your starting lineups. Your New York Mets, if you chose them to win, you have Lenny Dykstra, Keith Hernandez batting third, catcher Gary Carter, Darryl Strawberry in right field. This is the 23-year-old Darryl Strawberry, Danny Heap, Wally Backman, Ray Knight, Larry Boa, and Dwight Gooden is your pitcher. Yeah. There is good reason why you might have wanted to pick the New York Mets to win this, because we have 20-year-old Dwight Gooden. And yes, EBC, if the game crashes, it's kind of like a rain delay. And I think in baseball, if it's a rain out before the 5th inning or something, they replay the game. Unfortunately, in OOTP, you can't just program it to go to the 9th inning again with the same score. At least not that I know of. For your Toronto Blue Jays, you got Roberto Alomar, Pat Tabler, John Olerud, Dave Winfield, 40-year-old Dave Winfield, Devo White, Pat Borders, Manny Lee, Kelly Gruber, and pitching Juan Guzman. What a matchup. 16-5 Juan Guzman up against 24-4 Dwight Gooden. This should have been the final. Yes, we are going with whatever the game gives us, DH or no DH. I believe there is no DH, and we are letting the computer control everything. So here we go. Runners in scoring position. 85 Mets. Rich Grisham, you got your pom-poms out? Gabagoo Luigi, you got the pom-poms out? Game on. All right, in the top of the 1st inning, we do have a runner on second base. Lenny Dykstra at second, 2 away. Here comes the pitch to Darryl Strawberry. He takes a walk. Guzman facing a little adversity already in the 1st inning. 2 away for Danny Heap. Heap drives one into left field. That is going to be caught. No runs on 1 hit for your Mets. Right, runners in scoring position. Nothing. No hits, no errors for the Mets, no runs for the Blue Jays. We go to the top of the 2nd inning. Nothing for the Mets, so we go to bottom of 2. Dwight Gooden on the mound. He has 2 strikeouts already in the game. Runners in scoring position puts Dave Winfield on second, Devo White on first, and the number 6 hitter, catcher Pat Borders, is at the plate. No one out. Here's the pitch, and Borders drives one to the wall. Whoa! Was that a catch or what? These guys mean business. Let's see if I can do a shift F10 on that for the replay. I don't know if in historical games it lets you do that. Here's the pitch. Here's the drive. And with a sliding behind the back catch, Winfield does tag up. So all is not lost. The Blue Jays do move a runner to third base. Whew. All right, Manny Lee. Not really a guy that you expect a lot of power from. Only one away. Can he hit a sac fly? Anything but a double play. And there goes the runner from first base. Devo White slides in safely. That is going to break up a possible double play with that speed. Good call, Coach. Cito Gaston, good call. All right, Manny Lee, one ball. Here's the pitch. He drives one up past the second baseman. That is going to bring home Winfield. Manny Lee also scores, and your Blue Jays have a 2-0 lead. Right, runners in scoring position. Go to the top of the third. Mets, runner on second. Once again, it's Lenny Dykstra. Keith Hernandez. He does have a little bit of power. Let's see what he can do. He drives one and right to the shortstop. Manny Lee, not going to give those up too often. Gary Carter at the plate. He hits a weak grounder. That will retire the side. And the Mets go to the bottom of the third, down 2-0. Roberto Alomar on second. Blue Jays threatening again. Dwight Gooden, 2 innings, 2 strikes, 1 walk, and a strikeout of, who was that? Pat Tabler struck out. John Olerud. I remember this guy. I love John Olerud. One of my favorite Blue Jays of the 90s was John Olerud. Very underrated, I think. Always threatened that 400 average from what I remember. Dave Winfield at the plate. And just to kind of check out Dave at this stage in his career, he played a few more seasons after this. So he didn't stay in Toronto long. Looks like he stayed in Toronto for 1 year. He hit .290 and 26 home runs. Then he went off to Minnesota for a couple years and finished his career in Cleveland. So he's still got some power for a 40-year-old. Here comes the pitch from Gooden. Winfield, a weak grounder to the pitcher. Easy out. That will retire the Jays. We go to the top of 4. Jays 2. Mets. Goose egg. Seagulls. Yeah. You know, one situation like that can define a player's career in a city. And Dave Winfield and the Seagulls, if you don't know that story, go Google it. All right, runners in scoring position. Nothing. We go to bottom of 4. And we have a run. We have a run to report. It is a solo shot by Pat Borders. Now, someone help me out here. Even though I'm a Blue Jay fan, I always get these guys mixed up. Who won the MVP of the World Series for the Jays? Was it Borders or Tabler? It was Borders, wasn't it? Didn't he win the MVP? It was Pat Borders. Thank you, Coach Ruffy. Yes. I always get those two guys mixed up. All right. Blue Jays with a 3-0 lead. Runners in scoring position. And we got another run. OOTP doesn't show it because it wasn't a runner in scoring position, but Kelly Gruber. You guys remember Kelly Gruber? This guy looked like he was just like always pumped up. He was always moving. You know, he always like throwing the ball and moving his feet. And like sometimes you play videos on 2 times speed. That's what I remember of Kelly Gruber. He was always like 2 times speed as a player. All right, we go to the top of 5. Guzman still in the game. And he gets out of the 5th inning. We go to the bottom of 5. Dwight Gooden with 6 strikeouts. We go to the top of the 6th. These are 2 defensive era teams. But the Mets are threatening. Here we go. Is it Met time? Get the Met rally caps going. Keith Hernandez on second. Gary Carter on first. And Darryl Strawberry at the plate. This is 23-year-old Darryl Strawberry. He hit 277, 109 hits, 29 home runs. So we're getting one of the good Darryls here. All right, Guzman, Strawberry, full count. And he takes the walk. That is going to load them up. We have the tying run at the plate in the form of Danny Heap. Danny, do you have power? You got a little bit. In 1985, Danny hit 7 home runs. So I wouldn't expect a home run here, but it's not impossible. Guzman, Heap, one away, loaded bases. Here we go. And it's a weak ground ball. They come home for one. Can they get the double play? No, Heap beats it out. That is a critical play for the Blue Jays, as they could have gotten out of a bases loaded situation. But now that's going to bring up great utility guy, a card I used a lot in bronze a couple years ago in Perfect Team, Wally Backman. Wally Backman, as a 26-year-old, only 1 home run. He's probably not going to hit a dinger. 38 RBIs, 2.73 ERA. His 86th season would be his best season of his career. So he's not quite at that peak level. Would go on to play with Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, and end his career with the Seattle Mariners. All right, Backman, Guzman, bases loaded, 2 out, 1-2 count, and Backman strikes out. Oh, what could have been for the New York Mets. We go to the bottom of 6. Jays get nothing. Top of 7. Nothing for the Mets. We go to the 7th inning stretch. All right, EVC is going to lead us in some jumping jacks here to get us all limber and ready for the last part of the game. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3. Who was that 1980s fitness guru? EVC, you can be our 1980s fitness guru. Don't make you stand up. Who was that guy that, wore the shorts and danced around, kind of like the Kelly Gruber of fitness? All right, bottom of 7. I was just seeing how many of you remembered that name. Alex and Jokioma. Richard Simmons. Yeah, I remember Richard Simmons. All right, we go to top of 8. Mets, you're running out of opportunities. Lenny Dykstra on second. Keith Hernandez. We have Mark Eichhorn in the game, relieving Juan Guzman. And a weak grounder. That will be the first out of the inning, but it does move the runner to third. Inconsequential run, though. Carter at the plate, having some power. Former Montreal Expo. He will drive home the first run for the New York Mets. 4-1. And look at that. Is this really a defensive era? We've got 4 hits for the Mets, 5 hits for the Blue Jays. OOTP, you are showing that you are accurate in your defensive era statistics. Darryl Strawberry at the plate. He drives one deep to right field. That is gone. That should give a little bit of life as we see the New York Met dugout jump up and down. Strawberry cuts the lead in half. It is now 4-2. Mark Eichhorn in the game up against Danny Heap. Yeah, you knew that home run was coming. Another deep shot to center field. Whew, Jays, you're scaring us. They do get the out. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. And the Jays are looking for some insurance. Alomar on second, Tabler on first, John Olerud with the goatee. Can't see that happening. At the plate, here's the pitch. Olerud strikes out. Dave Winfield, 40-year-old, Mr. Seagull himself. The ball gets by the catcher. That will move the runners up to second and third. Now all we need is a sac fly. And it's a strikeout. Critical situation, Terry Leach with two key strikeouts of Olerud and Winfield. That leaves it up to Devo White. How about a bunt? No. Drives one to first. Can he beat it out? No, he can't. The Jays cannot score anything. We go to the top of 9. Last chance to make the dance for the New York Mets. And they are facing one of the best relievers in the last 40 years, Tom Henke. In 1992, this was Tom Henke's last year. I did not know that. Do any of you historians know why Tom Henke stopped playing? Tom Henke finished his career in 1992 with a 2.26 ERA, 3-2 record, 34 saves. Age? Well, he went out with obviously winning the World Series in 1992, so he went out on a high note. But based on those statistics, looks like he could have pitched another season. The Terminator facing Wally Backman. Oh, can you say scripted drama? Mookie at the plate. Mookie coming in to pinch hit for the New York Mets. We've got 29-year-old Mookie Wilson. Oh, he didn't retire. Okay. So he still played. So OOTP. I don't know why they didn't have the stats then for him there. But Mookie Wilson in 1985 hit 276. So looks like a capable pinch hitter. Let's go back to Henke. Pitching stats or real life stats. That's where my mistake was. Yes, I was looking at the in-game pitching stats, which of course, since it's 1992, can we get a professional in here? So yes, his real pitching, he did pitch. Oh, he went on to Texas. And then he finished with St. Louis Cardinals with a 1.82 ERA. So yeah, he still finished strong with St. Louis. 36 saves as a 38-year-old. Way to go, Terminator. All right, Mookie Wilson. One on, no one out. Wilson goes down swinging. Get to the bottom of the Mets order. They have Larry Boa followed by the pitching spot. I doubt they're going to make the pitcher hit, but we got to get there first. Boa has to avoid a double play. Can he get on base? Oh, the ball gets away from Pat Borders. That is going to move the runner up to second base. And now Larry Boa with a 2-1 count strikes out. 2-2 count. It comes down to this. All of you that chose the New York Mets to win this series, which I would have done probably if I wasn't a Jays fan, simply because they had Dwight Gooden going for them. Henke with pinch hitter Rafael Santana. 27 years old. Played 4 years with the Mets. Hit 257 in 1985, 29 RBIs, only one home run. So your least likely player to hit a home run needs to get on base, because that'll bring up Lenny Dykstra, who's had a very good game. Here comes the pitch. 1-2 count, and that is it. Rafael strikes out, and Tom Henke gets the save as the Toronto Blue Jays from 1992 advance to the World Championship. Juan Guzman goes 6 1/3 inning, only giving up 3 hits, 3 strikeouts, 3 walks, no earned runs, and Dwight Gooden takes the loss. 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 4 runs, and 9 strikeouts. Multi-hit games, none by the Blue Jays, and of course, Lenny Dykstra. Dykstra, Hernandez, and Strawberry were the only Mets with a hit. Dykstra had 3 of them. So he did his part. Okay, game number 1 in the books. So let's go back and let's take a quick peek. If you're just joining us, welcome in. We are doing our Final Four Tournament Showdown, where we are looking at, since about November, I've been doing this series periodically on my channel. We started with 32 teams. We narrowed it down, single elimination. These 4 teams here. The Mets played off against the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays won. And so when we look at our Google form, let's take a look at the summary. .9% of you, 17 of you are now out of it. You are eliminated, as they would say on Survivor. So what's that? 72.1% of you still have a chance, and almost 51% of you called the Jays to make the final and to win the final. All right. We do have an ad break coming up here, guys, so we will get on to game 2. Allow me to rest my voice a little bit. We will be back in 3 minutes. Go top off your beverage as the Royals are about to take on the Padres in game 2 of the semifinals. While we're waiting for the ad break to come on here, let's take a look again at these picks here. So 31 people chose the Blue Jays. And 20 of them picked the Blue Jays to finish second. So that was a good choice. Those that chose the Jays either for first or for second, not too bad. But got to find out who they play. I'm guessing the Padres, those that chose the Padres, that's going to really narrow down the field quite a bit. Because then we'd only have 38 people eligible to win. Right now we got 31 with a chance. Is it going to be 7 Padre fans? Is it going to be 6 Royal fans? Is it going to be 17 Met fans? Either way, it's a low number. Either 6 Royals picks or 7 Padre picks. So we're either going to have 37 people or 38 people that have a chance. And the second tiebreaker should definitely narrow it down. And the third tiebreaker should do it. If it doesn't, it'll be fun to throw all those names on the wheel and let the destiny determine the winner. All right, one and all, welcome back into episode number 92. Have you fixed the leaks in your team? Or are you a sinking ship unable to recover? I do not recommend that you dump your laptop into the water. Probably not going to be too good for it. Welcome back in, guys, to the last kind of major segment here of the show today. Not sure how long we'll go, but we will be doing our giveaway at the end for 10 standard packs. Everyone can get involved in that. Plus, the winner of the historical Guess the Winning Team contest will get 10 historical packs. Maybe the same person will get all 20. I don't know. We will see. But before we get to that, because it is Historical Baseball Day, I like to look back at some of the things that happened on this date in history. Did you know, were you aware that Ross Barnes, and if any of you have Perfect Team open, I need your help. as I go through these. So I want to know if any of these players are in the game and what their rating is. This brings players more to life when we look at their accomplishments. Chicago's Ross Barnes, the greatest batting star of the National Association, would hit the first National League home run, an inside the park drive off William Cherokee Fisher against the Reds on this day in 1876. And we do have a Ross Barnes 100 card. Thank you, Louis. And Ross Barnes, I remember last year he had a limited edition card that came out, and it was pretty good. It lasted in the cycle a fairly long time. So Ross Barnes, this day in history, first ever NL home run. Do we have a William Fisher? Do we have a Cherokee Fisher in the game yet? On this day, 122 years ago, after the Tigers take the lead in the top of the inning at the Chicago Southside Park, the White Sox slow down the pace in hopes the contest will be rained out. Umpire Tom Connolly is not impressed and forfeits the game, the first in American League history, giving Detroit a 7-5 victory. So even 122 years ago, teams were playing these little games, and in this case, trying to get the game canceled because of a rain delay. But the umpire not having any part of that. Well, we need to alert. We have an emergency alert situation. Mr. Ree is about to sip his first ever Tim Hortons coffee. Cheers. Cheers to you, Mr. Ree. I apologize if you don't like it. Understand that it's probably very similar to Dunkin' Donuts, but a little bit better, as it's a very commercialized coffee. But I felt the need, as a subscriber, to alert the audience that you are about to taste Canadian greatness, Canadian legacy, Tim Hortons coffee. 2 cream, 1 sugar. There you go. There is our mid-stream commercial advertisement. Well, we know we have a Honus Wagner in the game, I believe, right? Is that the gold card? I believe we have a gold Honus Wagner. He would steal around his way on the bases in the first inning back in 1909. So we're talking, let me do the math, 114 years ago. Honus Wagner would steal second, third, and home, all in the first inning against Cubs fan Steve's Chicago Cubs. And Steve, if you're still here, it just went downhill from there, didn't it, with the Cubs? You could blame it all on Honus Wagner for all the Cubs' woes over the last 114 years. And thank you, we do have 82 Honus in the game. Of course it did. Yes, of course, we can blame Honus. Oh, Mr. Ree, going with the cinnamon lingerberry? Is that a Starbucks creamer? That sounds familiar. When you said infused, I was thinking of these Starbucks creamers. But you like the black coffee. Okay, you don't like any cream or sugar. All right, on this day, during World War I, as the Canadian troops were off in northern France and Belgium fighting off the Germans at Vimy Ridge, which started around Easter. I think it started like Easter Sunday or Easter Monday back in 1917. As all that was going on, Fred Toney pitched a 10-inning no-hitter. Do we have a Fred Toney? I'm pretty sure we have a Fred Toney in the game. So congratulations. There is a wartime pitcher. No Fred Toney? All right. Well, there will be, I'm betting. Dead ball era pitcher. On this day in 1943, we jump ahead now to World War II. We're already in the Second World War. During World War II, the Phillies pitcher Schoolboy Rowe pinch hits with the bases loaded in the sixth inning and cracks a grand slam off Boston's Al Javery to break a tie. The Phillies would win 6-5, but takes him 12 innings, and for Rowe, it's his second career grand slam. Pretty sure we have a Schoolboy Rowe in the game. I think a perfect one, don't we? Don't we have a 100 tournament Schoolboy Rowe? Seems familiar. No Rowe? Well, it rhymes at least. No go for Rowe. I must be thinking of last year's. On this day in 1954, so we're talking, 69 years ago? Yeah, about 69 years ago, Stan Musial of the St. Louis Cardinals hits 5 home runs in a doubleheader. Yep, Stan the man. He's got a gold card, I believe, in Perfect Team. We know he'll have a perfect card at some point, most likely. But right now, I think he just has a really, really good gold card. 89 Musial, thank you. And last one before we get back to game number 2. On this day, 68 years ago, at Ebbets Field, Carl Furillo hits his 6th home run of the season with Jackie Robinson on base in the 12th inning to give the Brooklyn Dodgers a 2-0 victory over the Braves. Erskine would win his 4th game in a row, beating Gene Conley as both pitchers post complete games, which was pretty common back then. And what's really funny, synchronicity, Carl Furillo is in the Jackie Robinson mission. So to get Jackie Robinson, Carl Furillo is one of the cards. However, you don't really need, it's kind of like an empty card, because you're still, I think, 5 points short if you used Carl Furillo. So you still need Roy Campanella or one of the other cards to complete the mission. So we have the 90 Furillo, and of course we've got all the different levels of Jackie Robinson in the game. All right, it is that time. We have the 85 Padres going against the 96 Royals. We have to find out, will the Royals have home field advantage? Sorry, Kat, making you dizzy today. Will the Royals have home field advantage? And the answer is no. So home field advantage will go to our 85 Padres. All right, let me set up that screen. All right, so the Royals are not home field. So we've got the 96 Power Years Kansas City Royals up against the 1985 Padres. It would have been cool. I was hoping for a 85 Padres versus the 85 Mets, 2 from the same year. But the OOTP wheel did not decide that. So again, we're playing just one game, modern era, and we're turning off the injuries. Ezra's got the Padres. I think Coach Ruffy said he picked the Padres too. So only 7 of you picked the Padres, I think, and 6 of you picked the Royals. All right, let's make sure we do this right. 96 Royals, 85 Padres. Padres are the home team. Yes, we're good to go. Iridescence picked the Royals. Minerva picked the Royals. And the 31 of you that picked the Blue Jays are just sitting back, waiting to see who you get to feast on next. All right, here we go quickly with the lineup for your 1996 visiting Royals, we've got Tom Goodwin, Bip Roberts, Mike McFarland, Michael Tucker, Joe Randa, Johnny Damon, Bob Hamlin, David Howard, and Kevin Appier. Is it Appier or Appier? Or A? Is it the Canadian A? And for your 1985 Padres, we've got Jerry Royster, Gary Templeton, Tony Gwynn, 25-year-old Tony Gwynn, Carmelo Martinez, Craig Nettles, Steve Garvey, Kevin McReynolds, Terry Kennedy, David Dravecki. So we've got the old guys trying to win one more World Series, going up against the 96 Royals. Padres, this was probably one of their best opportunities, I think, to win the World Series. They had some good teams in the 80s. They had Eckersley there. I think they had Gaylord Perry pitched in San Diego for a while. They had some really good teams in the 80s. Never quite made it, though. Yes, we have a 41-year-old Craig Nettles. Well, we had a 40-year-old Dave Winfield, so maybe this is the tournament where the old guys get one more shot at it. As always, we are going runners in scoring position. Nothing for the Royals. We go to the bottom of the first. And we've got a runner on already. San Diego. Jerry Royster on second base. Apier. Okay. Thanks, Ezra Denny. Just love the hooked on phonics. Apier. Okay. We'll just call him Kevin. I don't think I mispronounced that. So Gary Templeton at the plate. Can he get the Padres on the board? What a dive, knocking down the ball, but can't fire it over to first base. So we have runners on the corner. And look who's up. Look who is up. Let's do a profile quickly on Tony Gwynn. One of the best in the game. He's got, I think, what's his card in the game right now? Is it like a bronze? Have we honored Tony Gwynn with only a bronze so far? So this is 1985, 25 years old. He hit .317, 6 home runs, 197 hits. So yeah, he was a hit machine, but it was still a few more years before he'd kind of hit his prime. Best year looks like it was 1994. And did he play his whole career in San Diego? What a legend. Entire career, pretty much 20 years with one team. 87, yeah, 87 was a really good year. Hit .370, 218 hits. All right, let's see. Can he cash in the first run? No one out. Runners on the corners. And Gwynn, a little squibber to the mound, and he beats it out. Tony Gwynn beats out the play, and it is 1-0. Or no, it's not 1-0. A runner did not score. It is bases loaded for Carmelo Martinez. Will he be the hero or the zero? In this case, he drives it to second. It is a double play, but he does get a run across. And I believe guys that really know their baseball, in that situation, does he still get an RBI? I don't think he does he? If he hits into a double play and a run scores. We've got Craig Nettles at the plate. And as was mentioned, this is a 41-year-old Craig Nettles. He would play 3 years with San Diego. Then he'd go to Atlanta. And did you guys know that he finished his career in Montreal, in Canada? Of all places, he only hit .172 as a 44-year-old. But yeah, he finished, in the Hall of Fame. He should put on an Expo cap just because he was an Expo. All right, can he cash in the run from third? 2 away, 1 strike count, and this ball gets away, but not far enough. The Royals catcher there, McFarland, did a great job of keeping the ball in front of him. 2-1 count. Nettles drives one to second base. That will be an easy out. Look at, he's still not at first base, guys. 41-year-olds run real slow. There, he finally made it to first base. All right, we go to the top of the second inning. No score. We go to bottom of 2. Garvey on third base. Kevin McReynolds at the plate. No one out. Garvey must have hit a triple. Well, can't get the run across. Appier gets the strikeout. Terry Kennedy, number 8 hitter at the plate. He drives one into center field. Will it be deep enough? Will they test the arm of the center fielder? Here comes the throw, and they get him. Garvey, what are you doing, buddy? Like Steve. Garvey, look at this speed. Look at this base running. Who is that third base coach for San Diego at the time? You're 36 years old. In this year, you had 0 stolen bases. None. Bad call. But a great throw by, who is that, Johnny Damon? Johnny Damon. 22-year-old Johnny Damon in center field. Well, we go to the top of the third inning. Nothing for the Royals. We go to the bottom of the third. Padres get a couple hits, but they can't score a run. We go to the top of 4. Nothing. Bottom of 4, San Diego, 1 run, 5 hits, and we got action. This could be the game right here. We've got Craig Nettles at second. We got Carmelo Martinez on third. And we've got one of the old fellers, Steve Garvey, at the plate. Here comes the pitch from Appier. It is driven to right field. That is going to be caught. Here comes the throw. We don't know if he scored. He was on the move. I guess he didn't test the arm. No, Carmelo Martinez stayed at third base. Respect for Michael Tucker's arm. And a strikeout for the second out of the inning. It's up to Terry Kennedy. Terry Kennedy, key moment of the game, Appier with the pitch. And he walks him. Which isn't a bad move because Dave Dravecky is at the plate. There is no DH. Smart move by Appier there. Dravecky, has he hit any home runs in his career? Let's take a look at his batting stats. No home runs in his career. Yes, he did. Back in 1986. So 1 year after this game is played, he did hit a home run and had 7 RBIs. So it's not impossible. Do we have a grand slam? Dave Dravecky, 2 out. He drives one into center field, deep but not deep enough. He gave it a good ride, and the Padres are out without a run with the bases loaded. We go to the top of the 5th inning. Here's the pitch. Runner on second base, grounded to third, and the out is recorded. It does move the runner. Joe Randa at third base. Bob Hamlin, a stud bronze card. Last year I used Bob Hamlin quite a bit, so it's kind of fun to see him now and look at his stats. Bob Hamlin in 1996, last year with Kansas City, hit .255. Yeah, he was not a stud player like he is in the game. He was a bronze meta card. All right, Dave Dravecky, still pitching. Hamlin drives this into center field. Johnny Damon, or who is that in center field? McReynolds grabs it, fires it in. Runner holds at third. I don't know. I might have sent the runner there. He's got pretty good speed. Could have been the tying run. I mean, they sent Garvey from third base. David Howard at the plate. Oh, and we have what is that? An intentional walk? Yes. More strategy coming in because that brings up the pitcher, Kevin Appier. Does he have any career home runs? Real life batting. Real life. No home runs. In fact, he has less than 80 at-bats. He played with the New York Mets one year. That was the bulk of his hitting. And other than that, he had one hit in the year 2000. So up until this point in his real career, he had never had an at-bat. So we are witnessing his second ever career at-bat. Runners on the corners, and he gives a weak grounder to second base. That retires the side, and we are going to the bottom of the fifth. 1-0 Padres. Yeah, I like that too. I really, really like that OOTP recognizes that if you got a base open and the pitcher coming up, that you walk the guy intentionally, because in real life, that's likely what's going to happen. Well, look who we have. We have Tony Gwynn at the plate. We have no one out. Runners on first and second. Appier with the pitch. Gwynn drives one down first base, and they get the runner at second, but cannot turn the double play. Again, that could be a key moment. Carmelo Martinez at the plate. Runners on the corner. One away. Appier with the pitch. He strikes him out. That is Appier's third K of the day. What a time for a strikeout. And now we are back to 41-year-old Craig Nettles, who back in 1985, he did hit 261, 15 home runs. So this guy, as a 41-year-old, wouldn't we all like to have that ability at 41? Has some juice left in the bat. Can he deliver? 2 away. 0-1 count. And can he deliver? Wow. We talked about him having 15 home runs in the 1985 season. Craig Nettles, the old feller, delivers with a 382-foot shot. Let's see if we get to see that. Here we go. 96 mile an hour curveball. Hits it into about the 7th row. And for a 41-year-old, well done. Well done, Mr. Nettles. Well, those of you that chose the Padres, things are looking good, but it's still only the 5th inning. We go to the top of the 6th. Couple hits for the Royals, or at least one hit, but no runs. We go to bottom of 6. And hey, we got some action. Full count, 2 outs. Dave Dravecki still in the game, and he's at second base for Jerry Royster. Royster, it gets by the third baseman. Here comes the pitcher. Dravecki scores on a double by Jerry Royster. New pitcher in the game for the Kansas City Royals. We have Jose Rosado pitching against Gary Templeton. And Templeton strikes out to end the inning. But the Padres add another run, and it is now 5-0. As we head to the top of 7. Only 2 hits so far for the Royals. Time is running out. They get nothing in the top of the 7. We go to bottom of 7. Once again, the Padres are still putting up some offense. Craig Nettles back at the plate. He recently homered. Can he do it again? One away. Here's the pitch, and this time Craig Nettles is way too tired. He's like 41. You don't expect him to hit 2 home runs. He's exhausted. He had to run around the bases 2 innings before. Garvey now at the plate. Of course, we all know Steve Garvey, at least I do, as a Los Angeles Dodger, where he played from 1969 up until 1982. So during the glory years of Los Angeles, and then he finished his career in San Diego, so at least he got to stay in California. And in 1985, he hit .281, 17 home runs, and is currently 37 years old. Drives one mediocre into center field. That will be the last out of the inning. All right, we go to the top of the 8th inning. Kansas City has the bottom of the rotation, Howard, the pitching spot, and Todd Goodwin scheduled to come up and scheduled to go down. Doug Linton in for the Royals, more so in kind of a mop-up situation. He gets out of the inning, and we go to the top of the 9th. Bip Roberts, Mike McFarland, and Michael Tucker. We got a Bip and a couple Mikes coming up to try and salvage the game for the Royals. Dave Dravecky is still in the game, looking for a complete game shutout, a 2-hitter, but Bip Roberts, Bip is money. Bip is money in perfect team. He leads off with a double. There is hope for those of you that chose the Royals, and that brings in, that's it for Dave Dravecky's game. It will bring in Eric Show. Pitched his entire career with San Diego until 1991, where he made a short pit stop in Oakland. San Diego to Oakland. And back in 1985, he went 12-11 with a 3.09 ERA, striking out 141 batters. So the guy has some strikeout ability. Mike McFarland, the catcher, at the plate. He drives that deep into center field. That gets over the center fielder's head, and that is going to score, I believe, yes, it scores the first run for the Royals. Bip Roberts comes home. It is 5-1. Michael Tucker, the number 4 hitter, up against Show. 2-1 count. Here's the pitch. Is pop up to the catcher. That should be an easy play. Yes, as they reach over the stands and do make the catch. Third baseman makes the play, and it is 1 away. Joe Randa at the plate needs to get on base. And he does. He takes a walk. Rally time. Turn those caps upside down and backwards. We have the Royals with 2 on, 1 away, and Johnny Damon at the plate. New pitcher in, Rich Gossage, is in, and he brings the heat. Rich Gossage, one of the Dave Stieb Super 7 All-Stars, which must be a good thing. He comes into the game, and back in 1985, his second year with the Padres, 26 saves, 5 wins, 3 losses. This guy looks like he's money. Rich Gossage, Bob Hamlin, 2 out, 2 on. And Hamlin drives it deep. It is deep to left field. It looks like it is gone. Wow, the Kansas City Royals with 2 out in the top of the 9th inning on the bat of Bob Hamlin. I thought that might have been caught. We gotta wait for this animation to end, and then we gotta replay that. a sinker, 97-mile-an-hour sinker, and good, valiant effort, but it just clears the left field wall, and Bob Hamlin makes this a game. The Royals score their 4th run of the 9th inning, ruining a great outing by Dave Dravecky. Unfortunately, they've got the bottom of their order. David Howard. Would you want this guy up? They don't bring in a pitch hitter. They do have the pitcher spot up next, so I guess they're hoping that Howard gets on. Howard in 1996 only hit .219, 4 home runs, 92 hits. All the best to you, Mike. Oh, they do bring in a pinch hitter. Well, look at that. They heard me. That is so weird. They had the guy come up. I clicked on his name and I went back, and all of a sudden it's a pinch hitter. Well, this is more hopeful for you Royal fans. Mike Sweeney was in his 2nd year in the league, hit .279, 4 home runs, 46 hits, trying to get on base. Gossage, Sweeney, old guy, 34, young guy, 23. Generational showdown. Here's the pitch, a 2-2 count, and that is lined into right field. And just like that, the tying run is on base. For Jose Offerman, a second pinch hitter coming up, really good speed, not really expected to hit the home run. Back in 1996, Jose Offerman hit .303. He did have 5 home runs, and he did have 8 triples. So if this gets into the gap, we could have a tie game here. This is much better than I thought it would go. 5-4 game. Gossage, Offerman, runner on first. All the money on the line to make the final. Oh, it is a bunt attempt. Jose, what are you doing? What is his bunt for hit? Wow, it's pretty good. Wow, I did not expect that. I guess they have the corners playing back. Well, let's see if he tries that again. 0-2 count, and he lines it into center field. Looks like it is going to be caught, and it is. The Kansas City Royals give it all they have, but they come up 1 run short, and they lose to the 1985 San Diego Padres. Player of the game, Dave Dravecky, as he should be. He went 8 strong innings, giving up 3 hits, 1 earned run. Kevin Appier takes the loss, going 4 2/3 inning, 8 hits, 4 earned runs. We had home run from Mr. Bob Hamlin and 41-year-old Craig Nettles. Multiple hit games for Jerry Royster, Gary Templeton, and Craig Nettles. For the Royals, Bip Roberts had 2 hits. Otherwise, it was pretty lean. 4 runs, 6 hits for the Royals, 5 runs, 10 hits for the 85 Padres. Well, we do have our finalists. We have the finalists here. Just switch screens. So there is a little visual of who we're going to see in the final. In the top left-hand corner, we have the 1992 world champion Toronto Blue Jays, and they are going up against the team right next to them, the 1985 San Diego Padres. Will this be the first World Series, even though it's virtual, that San Diego can take with them? In terms of our bets here, let's take a quick evaluation. 51% chose the Jays, and 11.5% chose the Padres. So 38 of you are in the running. It'd be really interesting if San Diego wins this, because then it's narrowed down very quickly. And I don't have to do many tie breakers likely. So Padres versus the Jays. But before we do that, to give my voice a little bit of a rest, a final few this day in history. On this day in 1964, Minnesota Twins hit 4 consecutive home runs. If you're a Twins fan, reason to celebrate. The anniversary of back-to-back home runs for the Twins. On this day in 1986, Bob Nepper. Do we have a Bob Nepper player in the game? Chess Safari remembers that. 1986, Bob Nepper runs his record to 5-0 with a 6-1 victory at chilly Montreal. Yeah, it's going to be chilly in Canada, even in May. Manager Hal Lanier has been using a 3-man rotation of Nepper, Scott, and Nolan Ryan. If you're going to run a 3-man rotation, pretty good 3-man rotation to run. So kind of unusual in 1986 to go with 3 men, but it worked. At least up till then for the Astros. Legendary Twin moment, hitting 4 home runs in a row. And Alex says, I think I picked the Jays over the Pods. Well, you're looking pretty good so far. On this day, speaking of the Expos, on this day back in 1987, Tim Raines hits a grand slam in his debut for the Expos. Now, this wasn't his first game for the Expos. Montreal fans will remember, back in 1987, Tim Raines was in a contract dispute, and he sat out. He believed that Major League Baseball managers were conspiring against him. They were colluding. He called out the managers for collusion and didn't play. And eventually, on May 1st, he would sign a contract and play his first game in 1987 and hit a grand slam. So good to see that Tim Raines did come back to Montreal. I always will see Tim Raines as an Expo, as a base stealer, as a leadoff man. And it was on this day in 1987 he came back after his contract issues. On this day in 1987, 36 years ago, look at the synchronicity. 36 years ago, Craig Nettles and Dion James hit grand slams, and today, Greg Nettles hits a home run for the Padres. So he did it in 1985 in the game. This was 2 years later. In real life, he hit a grand slam. And so led the Braves to a 12-4 rout of the Astros. First time since July 3rd of 1966 that the Braves have had 2 grand slams in one game. On this day in 1993, Texas defeated the Brewers 13-2, collecting 15 hits. Jose Canseco hit a single, double, and home run. Didn't get a chance at the triple before leaving for a pinch runner. Protecting a 12-2 lead, Jeff Bronke pitches 3 innings in relief of Rob Nen and earns a save in his major league debut. And he is the first major leaguer born in Afghanistan. So there you go, historic moment. First Afghan-born player getting a save on this day in 1993. So Chess Safari comes up with a little more information on those twin home runs. Tony Oliva, Bob Allison, great card in the game, Jimmy Hall, and Harmon Killebrew were the 4 twins that hit the home runs. Thank you for that, Chess. A couple more. On this day in 1995, the Los Angeles Dodgers and Hideo Nomo. He is the first Japanese native player to play in the majors in 3 decades. He will pitch 5 scoreless innings of one-hit ball, but the Dodgers, they blow a 3-0 lead, and Ezra's Giants beat Mr. Nomo in his debut 4-3. But Nomo will have the last say as he goes on to win the Rookie of the Year award, and of course, having a really good career following that, and opens the door for many Japanese players to follow him. Great day, Ezra. Great day beating Mr. Nomo. On this day in 2002, 21 years ago, Mike Cameron would hit 4 home runs. So we talked about the Twins hitting back-to-back home runs, 4 of them. Well, how about one player hitting 4 home runs? And he almost hit his 5th home runs. I don't know if IBDB or anyone else that follows the Mariners is in here, but how close was that 5th one? Because that would have been, wow, that'd be something that would never be done again. So Cameron is only the 13th player to homer 4 times in a game. He connects in his first 4 at-bats in just 5 innings and joins Brett Boone as the first teammates to hit 2 home runs in the same inning. What an inning that must have been. A 10-run first inning. Like, they should have the mercy rule. First inning, you give up 10 runs. It's like, okay, boys, let's go to the showers. Game over. How do you get motivated to play after giving up 10 runs? Mike Cameron, 4 home runs. Yeah, unfortunately, that was during that time period with the juicing. And Mike Cameron nearly hit the 5th home run. Yeah. And the last one, kind of a strange one. On this day, 16 years ago, Jared Saltalamacchia. I think I said that right. Jared Saltalamacchia of the Braves would set the record for the longest name in Major League history. 16 years ago today, he would play his first Major League game. The prior record was 13 letters. He says, I'm not going to have any of that. I'm going to have 14 letters. So he debuts on his 22nd birthday, and only because of an injury to Brian McCann and Brian Pena a day earlier, they were both hit by bats. That's weird. Both players were hit by bats, so that gives Saltalamacchia the opportunity to play and becomes the longest name, which I don't know if it's been broken yet. Probably. If there's a hyphenated name, there's probably one that's longer. But up until 2007, he had the record. And Ezra says, William Van Landingham had 13 letters. So William Van Landingham was one of the 15 prior players. Interesting. Like I said, I don't know if that's been broken. All right, here we go with our final game. We have to decide who gets home field. Will it be the Blue Jays? Will it be the Padres? Both of the semifinals, the home team won the game. So this is an important one. Blue Jays, Padres. Will the Padres have home field advantage? Mr. Bubbles goes round and round and round. Will the Padres have home field advantage? And Toronto will be traveling south, and they will go to San Diego. So the 7 of you that pick San Diego, keep the faith. You have home field advantage. Okay, go back to this screen. And thanks again, guys, for hanging around. I know it's been a little bit of a long stream, but hey, Tranquil Farms does much longer streams, and I don't know how he does it because it is exhausting going through and doing over 2 hours, that's for sure. So closing in on the 2-hour 40 mark here. Thanks for hanging in. I don't know how he does 12 hours. He must take some breaks because the voice is starting to go. But I promised you a result. I promised you a final decision. We've got a contest going, so let's do this. The visiting team, 1992. At least when I'm on with kidneys, I only do half the talking. He does half the talking. When I'm on by myself, yeah, it is a lot of talking. 1985. So again, we have two defensive era teams. The Blue Jays that year went 96 and 66, and the Padres that year, they went 83 and 73. So I think it balances out with San Diego getting home field. I think that home field advantage gives them a little bit of a push. So Blue Jays might have had the better team, but they're playing on the road. One game, modern era, no injuries. Yeah, Nas, I saw you were on for a long time yesterday. You're a younger guy, though. You've got the stamina a little bit more. Guys like myself, and I don't know if I could speak for Ezra or EVC or Gorigo, but once we hit that like 2.5 hour mark, it starts to have an impact. But I've got coffee. Yes, I do. I've got coffee. All right, if you pick the Blue Jays or the Padres and you're in chat, let us know. If you pick the Blue Jays, say Blue Jays, go Blue Jays. If you pick the Padres to win it all, go Padres. And if you pick both teams, if you pick the opposite team for the tiebreaker, you got a good shot at that tiebreaker, because anyone that picked the Mets or the Royals are completely out of it. There's no way for them to win if they pick the Mets or the Royals. Just Blue Jay and Padre people. Well, I think I do have. Don't I have a Blue Jay emote? I thought I had I got the Dave Steeb one, don't I? Don't I have a Dave Steeb changing color emote? Or at least I thought I did. Maybe I had to take that one off. All right, here we go. We don't need to go through the lineup again because we presented both of them. Let's get right into the game. Bluebird Silver going for the Jays. Monterre Don, Jays. Ezra Denny thinks that he picked both teams. Andy was Luke, cheering for the Padres. Alex, big Capitals, go Jays, go. And EVC, thank you. Thank you. I don't feel as bad knowing that other people feel drained too after that 2 hour mark. Here we go, guys. We got the ads before we begin the game. We'll be back in about 3 minutes. Speaking of longevity, is Tranquil Farm still going? I know he was streaming before I even started. Is he still streaming? That guy wakes up in the morning, puts 2 feet on and 2 shoes on and just goes. Like the Energizer Bunny. Yes, he's still going? Holy smokes. Hey, thanks, Chess Savari. Hey, big high five. That is the gasoline, and EVC and Ezra and all the streamers would say that the fuel for us to keep on going and push back when we're feeling tired and starting to lose a little bit are you guys and the comments and the energy that you guys give us as streamers. So big high five. There you go. Thank you, Chess. And hey, you watched pretty much all of the streamathon, so talk about longevity. I give you a lot of credit for that. Well, I don't know about fans, but I'm sure Ezra, in no time you'll have groupies, right? Don't all the San Francisco big stars have groupies? Call them fans, call them whatever you want, but you're going to have groupies and they'll come and they'll set up your monitor for you and they'll put the mic in the proper position and they'll put your pillow just right. And all you have to do is walk in and present the stream. Well, in Canada, EVC in Canada, we don't call them groupies, we call them cats. That's what we have for groupies in Canada, cats. A group of cats all over you. All right, we are back from the ads here, guys. Sorry about that. Didn't know we'd have another one coming in, but hey, we've been streaming almost 3 hours here. So we've got the Padres up against the Blue Jays. We are going pit until runners in scoring position. I don't think there'll be a lot of runs because it's both defensive era teams. OOTP Wheel of Destiny has given us 2 teams within a 10-year period. Of 100 years of baseball that they could have given us, it comes down to an 80s team versus an early 90s team. Go Jays. Dave Dravecky back on the mound. He doesn't need any rest. He can go back to back. Nothing for the Jays. We go to the bottom of the first inning. And Blue Jays want to get this game over with, it looks like. They have runners on first. Oh no, they're pitching here. Padres look like they want to get this game over. They got Templeton on second, Royster on third, and Tony Gwynn at the plate. I wouldn't want anyone else except maybe Craig Nettles. Tony Gwynn at the plate up against Juan Guzman. Nobody out, and he hits one to second. The runner cannot score, and in a very unlike Tony Gwynn plate appearance, it is the worst possible outcome as he doesn't cash in a run. So that will bring up Carmelo Martinez looking for a strikeout, and no, we get a walk. That will load up the bases in the bottom of the first inning. And look who's up. Look who's up. Didn't I just read out of this day in history that Craig Nettles hit a grand slam home run on this date back in 1987? If he hits a grand slam here, someone's going to have to clip that and send it to Major League Baseball, because what are the odds? All right, here we go. Craig Nettles, Juan Guzman, one away, 0-2 count, and he drives one. It doesn't clear the wall, but 41, look at him run. Look at him, run, hustle. He's going, oh no, he doesn't go for third. A base clearing double for 41-year-old Craig Nettles. And the Jays are in a jam, and the game hasn't even finished its first inning. The hero of the last game, and so far the hero of today, the San Diego Padres, 2 out, Craig Nettles on second, Kevin McReynolds. McReynolds drives one to Roberto Alomar, who fires it off to John Olerud, and the Jays do not look happy. Look at it. Now they're hustling. They know they have to be to the airport by 5 p.m., so they're moving it. Dave Dravecky, what kind of year did he have? Does he have a shutdown kind of year? 1985. Real life pitching. We want to look at real life. 1985. 13-11 with a 2.93 ERA. So he might give up 3 runs. It's not over yet. Runners in scoring position. White at second, 2 away for Kelly Gruber. Gruber drives one to the shortstop, fires it over to first for the out, and nothing for the Jays in the second inning. Nothing for San Diego. We go to the top of the third. Runner on second, Manny Lee, Roberto Alomar. We have the top of the order at the plate. Can they do some damage with 1 away? Alomar drives one into left field. That is going to drop. Manny Lee is hustling around third. He will score easily. And Jay fans, you're on the board. Pat Tabler now at the plate. Alomar hustles down to second base with the steal. Tabler, weakly ground ball. That should be an easy out. It is. 2 away for the Blue Jays. That will bring up. Where is Joe Carter? Joe Carter must be on the bench for this game. John Olerud at the plate. He strikes out. Jays do get a run. As we move to the bottom of the third, 3-1, 85 Padres. Nothing for the Padres. We go to the top of the fourth. Nothing for the Jays. Both teams have 3 hits, but it's the runs that count, and the Padres have 3 of them. Top of 5. We go to the bottom of 5. Defensive era teams. Top of 6. Very cool fact, Chess Safari. Trevecki's last major league game was in Canada. A win versus Montreal in August of 1989. Yeah, Tabler may be better as a play-by-play guy, as a color guy, rather than a hitter. We go to the bottom of 6. Padres, runner on second. The Jays can't afford to give up any more runs here, and Tony Gwynn is intentionally walked with no one out. Respect. Maybe no respect for Tabler, but respect for Tony Gwynn. Martinez at the plate. Guzman still in the game. 1-2 count, and he watches that one across the strike zone. Look who's up, boys and girls and kids from all over the world. Craig Nettles. 2 on, 1 out, 3-1 game. Strikeout. Just like he did last game. Last game he hit a home run and then struck out. He's gassed. He is gassed as a 41-year-old. He gets a base clearing double and then he strikes out here. 2 away. Garvey at the plate. This is the turning point. Can they escape? They fire it over to second, and yes, they get the fielder's choice. The Jays do not give up a run. And Gene Walter comes into the game. Trevecki only goes 6 innings. Wow, this is... The manager takes Trevecki out. Gene Walter is only his rookie year. 2 losses, 3 saves, 2.05 ERA. Under a 1 whip. 25-year-old. I'd be nervous. I'd be nervous putting a rookie in the World Series final game, 7th inning, to face Winfield, Borders, and White. And that's why I'd be nervous. Runners in scoring position. We have Devo at first, Pat Borders at second, Kelly Gruber at the plate against Gene Walter. Only 1 away. Big moment. Striking out. That is the second out. That 90s guy, thank you so much for the cheer. Thank you for the bits. Thank you for lurking and following along. Hope you got something good on the packs. Hope you're enjoying the vibes. And most of you probably don't know that 90s guy, but he has a channel as well. He streams. Go check out that 90s guy in that link. Give him a follow. And thank you so much for the cheering of the bits. Did you bring the Jays some luck, 90s guy? Manny Lee at the plate. He's hitting .500 in the game. 2 out, 2 on. Here's the pitch. Oh, that gets away from the catcher. Runners will move up. Kind of inconsequential, really. Whether they're at first or second or third, it does take a forced out situation away. 1-1 count on Manny Lee. Pitcher spot due up next. What do you do as a manager? Do you walk Lee and force Toronto to take out Juan Guzman? Or do you pitch to Lee with 2 out? Before I make this pitch here, what do you guys do in real life? Ezra would walk him on a 1-1 count. What do you do? Gene Walter's claim to fame. Thank you, Chess Safari. Gene Walter's claim to fame is that he gave up Pete Rose's record-breaking hit. Wow. Will he give up a record-breaking home run to Manny Lee? Iridescent says walk. Most of you guys say walk. That is a tough one because Manny Lee isn't really known as a hitter. Here's his numbers. Like avoid K's really low. I mean, he might take a walk. Back in 1993, Manny Lee hit .220. Well, let's find out. Let's find out what the game decides to do. 1-1 count. They pitch to him, and Manny Lee strikes out. Wow, the Padres avoid a disastrous situation. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Guzman still on the mound. And now they take him out. So they could have forced him out earlier, but they didn't. Mr. Ward, Turner Ward, is in to pitch for the Blue Jays. We are in the top of the 8th, and we are going to play out these last 2 innings because it is the final. So let's see how it goes. Here is the pitch. It is a shot down to the third base line, but an easy play. 1 away, bringing up the top of the order. Last chance kind of for the Blue Jays. They have to get something done with this top of the order. Alomar, Tabler, Olerud. I don't know why they don't bring in Joe Carter yet. Alomar shoots one down the first base, and he is out. Pat Tabler. Yeah, they're letting Tabler hit. He drives one into left field, so my apologies, Pat. You delivered. Tabler with the 2-out single. John Olerud at the plate. What's his home run power like? Yeah, pretty decent. 1993, 1992, 16 home runs. A chance to tie up the game. Mark Thurmond on the mound. So they bring in a new pitcher, Mark Thurmond, in real life. It's batting, pitching. He went 7-11 with a 3.97 ERA. So there's potential for weakness here. Olerud up against Thurmond. Lefty against lefty. Here comes the pitch. Olerud drives one in. Is it going to drop? Is it going to drop? No, the center fielder had a good beat on that. And nothing for the Jays. They have one more chance as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Let's see if they can hold down the Padres. Shot to third base. That's over to first. Kelly Gruber makes the easy play to Olerud. Gary Templeton at the plate. And that is driven into right field. falls for a base hit. Padres have 1 on, 1 out. Tony Gwynn. Templeton steals second base, runner in scoring position for Gwynn. They pitched to him, and that was a bad decision. He lines one over Kelly Gruber's head and scores a run with a double. That may be it. That may be it. We may have the first Padres World Series victory. Shot to the shortstop. Easy play for Manny Lee. Craig Nettles, can he keep it going? They walk him. Intentional walk. Good choice. Cito, you made a good choice there. Steve Garvey at the plate. Mark Eichhorn with the pitch. And that will be an easy play. Steve Garvey, slow runner. Here we have it. We have the 9th inning and Rich Gossage back in the game, trying to close it out. 4-1 lead. Winfield, Borders, and White are scheduled to hit. But I believe Toronto has Joe Carter on the bench. I don't think I can check that. I don't want to. I don't want to mess things up and crash the game. All right, Winfield at the plate. Just like the Royals did. The Royals get to Goose Gossage, and now the Jays get Dave Winfield on first. They're not going with a pinch runner. Not really key that they have a pinch runner there. Pat Borders, hero in real life. Can he do it here? Weak pop up. 1 away. Still need, oh, there we go. They bring him in. Cito. I know you wanted to save him for a walk-off situation, but Joe Carter and his 34 home runs are in the game. Joe Carter is at the plate up against Rich Gossage. Dave Winfield on first. Even though a home run still puts them 1 run behind, what can he do? We got the dinger. Carter with the blast. That is into center field. Will it drop? No. The center fielder had a good path to that ball, and it is 2 away for Kelly Gruber. I do not hold out a lot of hope with Gruber and Manny Lee at the plate. Rich Gossage, looking for World Series history fame. Can he close it out? Drive down to third base. They fire over to second. They get the final out of the game. And there we have it. We have the 1985 world champs taking laptop pounds. It's been 7-month stream of historical replay Wheel of Destiny baseball. Well deserved. Dave Dravecky gets the player of the game, goes 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run. Guzman takes the loss, had a good game, only gave up 4 hits, but did give up that big double, base clearing double. That was the deciding moment. Craig Nettles doing that in the first inning. 3 hits for Templeton, 2 runs for Templeton, had a great game. Nettles, 3 RBIs. Devo White had 2 hits for the Blue Jays. And they just couldn't do it. They should have started Joe Carter. Should have started him. And thank you, Alex Hira, for the cheer, for the bits. You guys take a bow. Big high five to 90s guy, to Alex for the bit cheer, even though I don't know what bits are. Like dog bits, like Twitch bits. I'm sure there's something good. So thank you guys for cheering the bits. In my depression, as the Jays lose, I can't even enter a bronze tournament. It's all full. That's just the That's just the stream it's been with the Jays losing. All right, let's go back to our home screen here. We will have, again, a giveaway for those of you that weren't entered in the contest. And even if you were entered in the contest, in just a few moments, don't enter yet. I'm sure Tranquil is still streaming. Is anyone else streaming now? Give me some names I can raid into. Tranquil's been going for a long time, so if someone else has been streaming, I'll stream into them. Dr. Dynastic, all right. So Dr. Diaz, so we will stream into him, give him a few streaming minutes, as Tranquil's probably been going. Someone look at his timer. What's his timer at right now for Tranquil? Is he over 6? Is he over or under 6 hours? Dr. Dynastic is away from the keyboard. He's doing a long sim. 7 hours and 40 minutes? Holy smokes, 7 hours and 40 minutes. All right, as we are waiting for that, thank you again so much for following me here, following me for my YouTube viewers. You guys are simply the best community out there, and it is a great day for baseball. Wherever you may be in this wonderful world, take care of yourself and those that are around you. Be kind to others and help people out in a time of need as best as you can. So coffee and whiskey will bid you adieu in a few seconds, and we will raid into Dr. Dynastic. So don't go anywhere, hang around. I will send you his way as soon as the contest is over. This has been episode number 92, Laptop Hound signing out of the studios. Have a wonderful day. See you next episode. Hang around. We're going over to another stream.